Okay, Roger. So I managed to watch like the first set in into a little bit of the second set for the finals against Djokovic, and I have to say, you you really look nervous, and don't take that as like, oh my God, Roger, you were nervous. And just when I say things like that, just I'm just coming from a standpoint of just being human. Like anyone would be nervous. But I don't know. I guess I can't really talk because I don't play tennis that much. But I know for me, when I ran track, like the nervousness would be pretty awful sometimes. But as soon as I put my foot to the starting line, like the nervousness will go away. So, but it seemed to me like you were experiencing an unbelievable amount of nervous energy throughout the entire match that I saw, the entire first set into the second set, and I just you know want to go back to saying, what are your beliefs? Like, what were you sort of making up in your head before you stepped out on court? And I've said this in my other videos as well, because this is again like a trend with you, and it's beginning to, I guess it looks kind of like, well, what if I lose this? What if I can't defend my title or whatever? And like a lot of these bad things happen every time you step on the court and you're like nervous. And there's nothing wrong with being nervous in general, but I mean, just having this mind frame where you are not there. You're like not 100% on court. And I can't say at the same time that how I've mentioned my other videos saying that you weren't present. I can't say that in that match you weren't present, but it's just how we are, like old habits don't die easily, and I feel like you were present and you were fighting, but I feel like again it was a little bit of the older Roger, who brought the nervousness and all of his own thinking onto the court. But you were doing much better than you normally do, and it seemed to me like like some of your shots were like, every time your shots weren't like, I guess your shots were a little tight or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but every time your shots were like a quick reactional sort of thing, there was always an error every time I noticed. So it felt like you were a little bit uptight, and again, it's like, if again, I just think you have to get some help with working through these nerves, and just knowing that, first of all, when you come out onto the court, there's no way you could give it your best if you're so busy occupying all of your mental real estate with, what if I don't make it? What if I, that's what it really seems like. Like I'm thinking, well, there's fear there. You're nervous. Well, what would you be nervous about? And at one point in the match, I think maybe about the fourth or so game or whatever, like Djokovic smelled blood. Like he noticed you were nervous, and he started coming more out of his shell, and then started getting the advantage. So again, it's so important to like really give yourself the space and give yourself the courtesy of like getting some sort of help. And if you're not, and when I say help, I don't mean like, oh, poor Roger, oh my God. I don't mean that, Roger, but I just wonder, like, why will you not work on your mental fitness? Like, as a fan, like, I don't think I'm ever going to let that go. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's feeding these freaking unforced errors, and, lack of concentration, and then just the stress on your face and how tight your face is. And although kudos to you for not getting angry, and kudos to you for not unraveling emotionally on the court or whatever, not doing the usual human thing. But you know what, Roger, being stoic as well is not always the answer either, and I just wonder sometimes about your belief systems, and I don't wonder about it in a negative way or like, oh my God, Roger. I'm not wondering about it like that. But as far as it affecting you and obstructing your way to be able to win and again take your rightful place as a winner, I just wonder, you know, like what are you afraid of? Like what are your belief systems? Because what are your beliefs about fighting? You know what I mean? What are your beliefs about asserting yourself really? I mean, there are times when you truly do assert yourself, but for me it's like it has to be in a certain way for you to assert yourself. At times. Most times. Because I find it again too, you are uncomfortable with like getting into a dog fight, and I don't want to say you want to get into a dog fight actually. Who wants to get into a dog fight on the tennis court? But it's like Djokovic freaking sensed you were nervous. And I'm going to actually try to put together like a little commentary on the video that I saw, and I will note the point where I feel that Djokovic like did I just do that? It seemed like crazy, like it seems so crazy. Oh my God. It was like Djokovic was like, oh, he's nervous. Let me, whatever. Oh my God. Let me just kind of recover from that embarrassing moment. Like, did I just freaking do that? All right, I'm just going to let it go. Because if I can sit here and put on a platform and talk about you and sort of your emotions and what's in your head and you being afraid, then I definitely could sit here in all fairness and need to make a bit of a fool of myself on the camera in front of people as well. If you're going to be on a public platform, then I need to, if I'm going to talk about you. But I notice like, for me, it's like you don't like to fight, and that's totally okay. And it's not that there's a difference between saying you won't fight and you don't like to fight. So don't take it the wrong way. And I noticed that on court, like the way you were playing, for me, when you say you like to play aggressive and you're sort of like a first strike type of person, I feel like your game is more, it's more beautiful. It's thought out, it's like chess. Like you move a guy around, you keep getting the ball back and hitting the ball back with him, but you're kind of moving him around until you get a space open and then you go for your shot. And that's great and all, but it was, I think dealing with somebody like Joker, who's clearly, I love Joker and all, but the more that the wins and the losses get close, I'm always gonna stick to you. Just like I went up in my other video with Rafa. Like I love Rafa too, but when it's gonna get down to it, it's just you. It has to be them or you, and it's gonna be them to go. And no disrespect, but yeah, I mean Joker. He doesn't have a problem like with his expressing himself and being aggressive. He doesn't have a real problem with that, and that's not to say that he's not. It doesn't seem like a nice person, because I like him. I think he seems like a real nice guy, like real funny, just stupid, like in a good way, like the type of person you kind of, I don't know about you, but maybe you want to go to a group of people to a bar and just like, you're gonna have a good time with this crazy guy, because he's just funny. He's off the hook. He doesn't even care like about just clowning around and stuff like that. I like Joker. I like him a lot. But anyway, he doesn't have a problem expressing himself, and he doesn't have a problem taking his shots over yours, inconveniencing you. He doesn't have a problem being a healthy kind of ruthlessness. Not like an Andy Murray hit the freaking ball at your head ruthlessness. Like a healthy kind of ruthlessness. Ruthlessness is going to win his game. And every time you were playing him so straight up, and it was like as soon as he got the chance, he just took a ruthless shot on you. And I think as long as you keep trying to play people fair, Roger, and I'm not saying, when I say fair, I'm straightforward. If you don't put some strategy in there, if you don't start taking yourself first, and if you don't start believing that taking yourself first over these other players, you're gonna be in the freaking second spot. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to like get that. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, I was just looking at the match and stuff like that, and I was just looking at how Joker he was just slamming the ball at times, slamming it towards you, and then you'd get it back. It was like a little bit of the old Roger Federer too. It's like, get the ball back, get the ball back, get the ball back. But there was just getting the ball back to him. There was no offense, There were small times when there were, like you were converting, like if he put you on the run a bit, like you were converting it into an offensive shot. But he's able to get to a lot of those balls too. And then I guess you have to realize as well, always talk about these guys being bigger and longer reach and stuff like that, and that. I actually heard an old interview the other day where you were talking about that, and I was like, oh, he probably listened to my video. It was kind of like, I know this. I mean, of course you know this, and of course you know a lot of things that I probably mentioned, but I'm just saying that a lot of these guys, obviously, as you know, you are like a one-handed backhand person. So that's that, not having that that extra hand to generate that extra power is going to put you at a bit of a disadvantage, you know what I mean? And render some of your shots ineffective with these guys who are playing at the top of their game in addition to you playing at the top of yours. But you have that, and then, I mean, some of these guys are hitting with a freaking double-handed forehand, too, at times. And, Djokovic was just, like, slamming the ball with, two hands on the racket, slamming it toward you, giving you a little bit of a hard time. It was good that you could handle it. It wasn't like you were, like, all over the place. But all you were doing was getting the ball back. So, and he was just like, really, he didn't care what you thought. He was just like, and I just look for the day when you'll be like that too, when you don't care what these other people are thinking, because it feels like there's some part of you that just you don't like to fight, you know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing or a negative thing, It's just not. And it's not that you haven't fought before. And again, it's not a comment on who you are as a person. It's not saying that people will walk all over you, because I know, you actually are one of the few people who speak their mind, and you will call somebody out, like when Joker was doing all that retiring a couple years ago and stuff like that. And, you're taking a great and strong leadership role, and I really love the fact that, as well, just to go off subject a little bit, because here I go on one of my little tangents a little bit, but that you actually mentioned, like, Rafa, where the hell has Rafa been? He has all this time off. He could be a little more engaged in supporting the entire movement in order to structure a pay scale that's going to help the players below him. He's friends with a lot of the lower ranked players and stuff like that. He knows what they need, and he knows that the schedule is busier than other people, because he's the one who had the biggest freaking problem with the schedule. So you would think, given that he had such a big problem with the schedule, that he would say, well, you know what? I know Roger's on tour playing every other week. Yeah, maybe I might disagree with Roger on certain things. Yeah, maybe I feel like he could have handled certain things in a different way. I wouldn't have handled it that way. But he could still help out and support you to push the process forward. And then I will say as well, to read yesterday, I'm surprised, Joker, I want to address you, like, directly, if you're ever watching this video. Like, why did you leave? Why did you leave your post? And what's up with you and Rafa? What are you guys doing, feeding off of each other? You know what I mean? It seems like even ever since Madrid, like, Joker, I'm freaking disappointed you left your post. You know what I mean? It's one thing for Rafa, because that's what Rafa does. Rafa doesn't like something, he doesn't want to be a part of it. He checks out of his matches when he's not winning in the way he wants to. And you know what? It's not me one person saying it. So many people feeling that way. And then, you know what? Even if I were playing tennis, some of my little bad habits would feed out on the court, and there will be a consistency there. What you have on the court is what you have in the boardroom and all of this, that, and a third, you know? But I'm just saying, like, I'm just surprised that you left your position, Joker. I mean, really, of all people, and you guys just dump all of the responsibility on Roger, you know? It's a lot of time to spend. I mean, you're sitting here and you're benefiting from all of this and you want change and stuff like that, but the first thing you do is leave your post. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm really disappointed in you personally, Joker, over that. I'm really disappointed to have read that yesterday. But I'm just saying that, you know, Rafa's had all this time out, all of his time off, and yes, he has to deal with his own personal life, and yes, I'm sure he has engagements and things like that. But I follow both Joker and Rafa on Twitter, and every time Rafa's posting something, he's on the beach with his cousins. And no offense to that. Have fun with your family, please enjoy. You know, you spend a lot of time working hard on tour. You don't hardly get to see your family. I'm not mad at you at all, Rafa, but I'm just saying, at the same time, you know, it was a perfect opportunity for you to help out. So, okay, Roger, I'm back from my tangent. I'm back from my tangent. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad, you know, it's not to say, Roger, that your personality is soft or anything like that, because you don't have a soft personality, and I don't believe at all you're a pushover. I've seen you say stuff. I've seen you tell off people a little bit here and there over the years, and you know, so that is a. Please don't confuse what I'm saying is that you don't like to fight as saying that you're like a pushover or something like that. I don't believe that, but I do believe it's a part of you. There's just an inner belief, and it's the right belief, you know, that you don't like to fight. That fighting is not right, and it carries over on the court. And it's interesting too, because when you think about certain things too as well, like, you like to handle things diplomatically, and in my experience, from what I know of you and from what I know of what other players are saying of you, and for them, you know, their style is different or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, it does come out on the court. So when I hear other people say that, it feels a little bit more credible. You know, just as with Rafa, the same thing. Like, when he doesn't like something, he checks out one way or another, whether it's a bathroom break or something else sometimes. And I love Rafa. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this is just my peeve with him. Just like I'm sure his own mother has peeves with him, and just like anybody in their family. So this is my peeve with him. But you know, getting back to you and stuff like that, you know, you stand up for what you believe. But I think as long as you take a back seat on the court and just allow for other people's aggression, and you're just kind of responding to it, and not in a way that's going to really secure a win for you, obviously, you're going to have a lot less wins. And that's what was happening on that court. Like, Joker was just taking over, slamming the ball times. He didn't care, you know what I mean? He didn't care, and he was doing the right thing. He shouldn't care. Slamming the balls towards you, and you were just getting them back, you know? And if you want to play with him, I think you're going to have to start looking at not falling into the old style of Roger Federer, the chess master, who, you know, maneuvers over a couple of shots. He has an exchange over a couple of shots, moves the person to the left side of the court, and then hits the ball to the right. Like, that's beautiful. It is. That's why they call you the maestro, I'm sure. But you know, sometimes things call for straight up aggression. You know, if you're going to play these guys, you know, and they're looking at the way Joker's playing you and other people are playing you, what it takes to win against Roger is straightforward aggression. And trust me, people pick up that stuff about you and they take advantage. You know, he doesn't really like to, you know, if you push him hard enough. So, it's not to say you weren't playing hard back, but you were playing hard back in your own style, you know, and there's a difference between, you could be the greatest player in the world, which you are, and if you're not going to use a certain application toward responding and being able to stifle and stop and obstruct the opponent, then he's going to pull out the win, which just ended up happening. And I'll tell you a few other things too. Anytime that Joker has ever won the first set against you, he's won the entire match. I think that's a a 0-9 winning records, or 9-0. Like when Joker wins the matches, the Joker. Well, actually, yeah, no, that can't make sense. Whatever the case is, whenever he wins, because I don't know, you guys are like 12-16 or 13-16 now. That your overall winning record, I think. So it must be like a 13. No, no, no. Maybe I saw that the. I'm sorry. I'm like thinking out loud and taking it all out in this video. Joker has like a 8-0 record, and now it should be a 9-0 record. Like anytime he wins the first set, he wins the match against you. Like whatever the case is, anytime he has always won the first set against you. You have never ever turned that around. So, and I'm not saying that in a nasty way. I'm just saying that's what the stats were saying. So it's really good to know that for whatever reason, you should just not let him win the first set. I know that was like, information that you absolutely needed me to tell you about, because otherwise you absolutely wouldn't have known. Yeah, right. But yeah, so that's that. And then what else did I want to tell you? Thank you once again, because again, like I'm just making these videos. They make me feel much better in this very difficult time with my family. So, yeah. So I wanted to say that in addition to that, I think one of your approaches, and I'll probably put this in another video, but I think what you want to do, with these players, just especially Joker, you have a very close record with him, and he's a tough dude, and he's mentally ridiculously tough, and he's only getting tougher in his mental game. Anybody who's been through a 6-hour match and could come out on the other side of that against Rafa last year. Also Roland Garros against Tsonga, where he was about to go out. He was like down 2 sets. Few other, I think even at the U.S. Open, he had another one of those matches. And this guy's like pulling fucking miracle. Excuse me for saying that, but I mean, he's like holding the line. He's just letting things happen, and he's turning the tide. So what you're going to be dealing with in 2013 is somebody with a lot of mental resolve, but somebody who knows, when you have all your ducks in a row, when you, Roger Federer, have all your ducks in a row, you beat that you beat that person. I know the Joker. I would be willing to bet. I can't speak for him, but I'd be willing to bet based on his responses, answers, and things like that about you that, he knows like on a good day, you can't beat him. So that's that. But I think you're gonna have to wonder, like, what's gonna be your approach when you have to get into tie breaks, because there's got to be something. You got to change your game more aggressive, and I mean wildly aggressive. And the application, like I said, of doing the chess mastering type of tennis, which worked in the past, and which it is still effective, but it's kind of like these guys. Again, they have longer reach, they have they're fast, they, maybe their rackets are even longer, you know what I mean, to a certain extent. I don't know why the other day I thought, oh, Joker's racket looks longer, and the racket heads are bigger, I don't know, you have a small racket head on. But as you're moving all these guys around, they can chase down these balls, so I think your approach, you should figure out, like, what's my approach going to be on tie breaks. And I'm in the middle of trying to find out what your 2012 tie break records were anyway. But, it'd be really good for you to figure that out. Like, when I go into tie breaks, I go in, I don't want to just say super aggressive, but just have some sort of really effective plan. Like, about how to really turn the tide in your favor, speaking of turning tides. But yeah, I think that's basically it for today. I think for me, this is turning into like a daily diary over the last couple of days, just a daily diary to Roger Federer. And I think, you know, I'll have another video probably tomorrow over the next couple of days or something like that. But I think, again, like, figuring out what you're gonna do in tie breaks would be really good. And you've got 8 main players. Like, I think the focus on the 8, even like some of the eight guys or whatever at the World Tour Finals, like, have a strategy. Like, what would you do in a tie break against Federer? Well, not that most likely you wouldn't even get in a tie break with him, but I don't want to sleep on Federer or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, what about Del Potro? You know what I mean? Because you and Del Potro have gone through quite a few tiebreakers this year, Roland Garros, and that didn't go your way for at least the first set. I don't remember the rest of the match, although I know you won it. And then, wasn't there a tiebreak at the Olympics? I don't know. But anyway, what's your approach? And how are you going to turn it up? If you're not going to play aggressive in the manner that I'm suggesting for the entire match, that you at least do this during tie breaks, to secure the points. I think when you can, taking the ball on earlier and putting it away, like I saw you doing sometimes against Murray, is a great idea, if you ask me. I don't think a joker was really making it possible for you to come to net a lot, but I'll have to look again at that and see if that thought of mine is correct. So anyway, I think that just number one, really figuring out how you're going to change up your game, as far as that's concerned, in a world again where these guys are chasing down every one of your balls, and yeah, just going from there. So I think I'm finished for now. Thank you, Roger Federer. Good luck. And I hope you're enjoying your vacation. Oh, and let me thank Mirka, too. I haven't even talked to Mirka. I've mentioned her in my videos for a while. But Mirka, I just want to say thank you so much, as a fan. I mean, I know this man is your husband and all. It's just natural for you to just do things. But sometimes I hear in some videos, I hear Roger talking about how great you are. And I already know that. I mean, even Paul Anacone has tweeted about how great you are and how, you're such a huge and key part of Team Federer. And just as a fan, I want to send some love to you. And, I can understand. I actually have twins in my family, you guys. I have a couple of sets of twins in my family. And I know personally that it takes so much work. It really takes about 3 to 4 people. I mean, in a perfect world, it would 4 people tending to twins is a perfect amount of people. Even 2 people, like 2 people alone, just tending to baby twins is unbelievably is just it's just overwhelming. Unbelievably overwhelming. So just kudos to you, Mirka, for being able to support Roger in that way, and not to like get all in your personal business, but separately as a fan, I recognize what it takes to a certain extent in order to just be part of the team and just sort of take one for the team as well, and I feel like you're doing that, and I love personally, I really like the support system that you both have. I really, truly admire that, and it's wonderful for not only just me to see, but just the world to see as well, because we don't have, I don't really feel that the world has the greatest role models for marriage, out there all of the time. Except, actually, our president in the United States. Like, I feel like he's so in love with his wife, President Obama. Like, I love that, too. I think he's just ridiculously in love with his wife. But anyway, so thank you so much. And good luck. You guys deserve, like, the best vacation now and, like, some serious rest after this entire season and all the ups and downs. So, good luck. And, yeah, I'll talk to you soon. I'll set out another video because, maybe I'm kind of, on some level, doing this for me, too. No, I mean, actually, no. Maybe I'm being a little more, maybe I'm being It's not. It's actually not true. It's actually not true. So I don't know. Just being a little overly critical there, but it actually doesn't sit as true for me. So anyway, sorry for the babble. Bye.